Welcome, everybody, to Nerd Talk. And today I am Tracy Glenn, and I am here to introduce the rest of our crew. Say hello, crew.
That was the most uncomfortable opening.
What do you mean? I thought that was interesting.
I am Tracy, and this is my crew. Hello, crew.
Well, I thought it
can't.
was. What do you mean you can't? I'm just being me.
With you.
I don't know if anybody actually seen or heard the audio, but I think that's pretty cool. Thank you, Russ, for making an intro. We have Angela and Jeff from Diz Our Dream, one in the great state of Pennsylvania and the other one in the great state of Florida. We have Russ Stapleton down there in Kentucky, and Kenzie with me in upstate New York, and she's literally about 50 feet away from me in another room. Welcome in. Today is Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be discussing the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. In the description, you'll see a link to all of the channels that are involved in today's discussion. So if you want to get a chance, if you're new to Nerd Talk, check us out. Look at our content. Subscribe if you want. And if you want, hit that like button today. And let's start off with thanking the Live Place for hosting the Nerd Talk on the Live Place. You want to find a good family-friendly stream, check out the Live Place, and you will come across some great, amazing people. You guys want to say hello and welcome?
No, I'm going to sit here silently while I eat my peach rings.
Hello and welcome.
We've already had a question as to where Jeff is actually.
Jeff, you want to tell everybody where you are?
Guest.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he.
I hate when I do that. Okay. I'm not going to tell you where I'm at. You need to figure out where I'm at by the end of the episode. And I don't know how long I'm going to last.
Oh.
My battery, I tried to charge my battery at the DVC lounge. It didn't charge that fast, so I'll last as long as I can. But you have to figure it out. I'm not telling you where I'm
there's
at.
a hint for you.
It's okay. I'll
DVC lounge.
Why did they let you stream in the DVC lounge?
Because you have to wear your mask in the DVC lounge.
Ah.
I'll give you a hint.
He's at a restaurant.
I'm in Epcot, and I'm in a restaurant.
And I'm assuming, if I was to guess, I have a good idea. I'm going to put my guess in the other chat and see if people.
You already know though.
Huh? No, I don't.
Know though.
No, I don't.
No, he wasn't on when he told us.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I guessed where he was.
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa. Lisa guessed. Who else?
Oh, I said the same thing.
He's in a van down by the river.
In a van down by the river. So let's get to chat, see who's here, and welcome everybody in. Mike Wheeler was first. Russ Stapleton said he is Groot. And I said we are Groot. Oh, no. Did you? I thought you said you were Mary
I said
Poppins.
it in the chat. I'm saying it now. I'm Mary Poppins.
Oh. And Lisa and Joey from It's Joey's World, welcome in. Tina from Tina Marie Photography.
What the heck? Oh, he must have frozen. Here we go.
Yeah.
Was that me?
We had two of Jeff for a minute.
Yeah, we did.
I tried to click on the chat, but I must have hit leave.
Oh gosh.
I can't see the chat, so
That's okay. Mike 88 for NYC, welcome in. It's we said hello to Lisa and Joey. Mike Wheeler, we said that's Garrett from Monarch Moments. Keith, big Disney fan, welcome in. Stacy Rogers, the mod of all streams, sitting there with her coffee.
Stacy cracks me up.
She's a huge. She's
The joke are the best.
I love it.
A huge cracker upper.
Yes, Annie. Annie, welcome in.
Keith, what's up? Joey's best bud.
It is Joey's best. I haven't got that far down.
Well, I'm skipping forward for you because it's this. I don't think there's anybody else.
Well, Joey's best bud. Welcome in, Keith. All right. So, first and foremost, how did we like the movie?
It's good.
I loved it.
I prefer the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the first one had a better villain, per se. I'm kind of happy they wrapped up the who Peter Quill's father is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is totally wrong, but anyway.
Okay,
Why
so
is
let's
it wrong?
let's get to this. Russ, what's the difference between the movies and what they try to intermingle into the movie and the comic book? What's kind of here and what's kind of not there?
Uh-oh, my headphones. There we go. So the comics have absolutely nothing to do with this movie. They completely changed everything, which is okay. I mean, I enjoy the movie. It's a good movie. I think I like the story from the first one better, but I like the character development in the second one better.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about both of them.
Uh-huh.
Obviously the second movie has not. It's a standalone movie. It really doesn't have much to do with any of the rest of the MCU. It's just you're getting more character development. You're understanding who these people are as a team. Which then sets it up for the next movies. But yeah, there's really absolutely nothing in the comics other than the different characters. Like, I could talk a little bit about those individual characters once we meet them, once we start talking about them. But there's really nothing story-wise in the comics at all that compares to the movie. So yeah,
right. But I mean, there is an ego in the comic books. I don't.
There
think
is
it's
an ego.
It's not Peter Quill's father per se, correct?
Right. Yeah. Peter's father in the comics was named Jason. He is a spaceman, or he is from space. But he's, I think his race is a Spartax or something like that. And he's nothing at all. He's not Ego. He's not the planet. He's not the living planet. Ego as a character is totally different in the comics from the film. But again, it's a movie, so it's no big deal.
Right. I mean, it brought some stuff in. And welcome in Brittany Morgan. I think that's the first time I've seen that name. Welcome in. So there's not much that you can compare the storyline compared to comics to this, other than, All right. So let's start off with, what did we like about the movie? Let's start with Jeff. So
What did I like about the movie? Wow. I thought there were some really corny parts in it, but I thought there were some of the best one-liners out of any of the Marvel movies in this movie. I thought, if a movie makes me laugh and belly laugh, it's done a good job. So there's some good one-liners in this movie. So
yeah, absolutely. Angela?
Baby Groot.
Baby Groot.
No, Baby Groot. And I agree with Jeff about the one-liners and, what Russ said too about the character development and getting to learn more about, was his name Drax? Dax?
Mm-hmm.
Drax.
Yeah.
Drax.
Yeah,
the
I thought that
Destroyer.
was, I mean, you could see a different side to him, I really enjoyed that. So
Ken's?
Baby Groot. I think he's really cute. I mean, if you said to me, watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2, I'm gonna pick 1, personally. That's just me though.
mm-hmm.
I liked this movie, obviously, but I mean, from here on out, I think the comedy in the movies are pretty good.
Right.
So this movie has good stuff in there, comic wise, and then I wasn't a fan of the whole Quill's dad thing. That didn't really interest me that much. It wasn't really my thing, but I really loved Baby Groot. I loved the beginning where they're like, Groot, move, you're gonna get hit, and he just goes, hello. and
he keeps dancing.
And he waves back at him, and it's just the cutest thing. I think it's just such a character without having to say basically anything. I love him.
Russ?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy this movie. Again, everything in this movie is just over the top. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And well, I watched the behind the scenes things as well, and James Gunn even said, hey, this is the second movie. I know all the actors now, and I can write better for them because they're all, just great, and they all work so well together and play off each other. And I just think that you see that a lot with what we had with the Avengers, that now we have another team who is just as good at working together, as actors, and it's amazing. So yeah, I like this movie a lot. So it is a lot of fun. I agree. The whole ego thing, it's not my favorite, but they do change a lot of the characters from the comics. But again, you've got ridiculousness with him playing ball with with Kurt Russell, and
yeah. I mean,
you've got Taserface, and
And
welcome in Chris Blue Nose 352.
I really liked Mantis in this movie. I think
See,
she's cool.
that's a whole character that I'll get on later. But yeah,
So
But she's so funny.
Yeah.
And dumb like Drax, which makes it
right, which is why they work together. I mean, that's
I have to say, I think one of my favorite part of this was the character development of Rocket and Yondu. Baby Groot is cute, and the whole storyline about his whole background, or Quill's background, but the story development between Yondu and Rocket, and how that brings Rocket, like, he was always part of the team, but now he realizes why he's part of that team.
Yeah.
So that's what I loved about this movie, is seeing that development between those two. All right, so we got to what we liked about it. Favorite part of the movie. We'll start with Russ this time.
I think my favorite part is the beginning scene, where the opening part where they're fighting the big monster thingy or whatever it is, and Baby Groot dancing around, and I think that's my favorite part. But again, I love all the parts where I basically love all the parts with Drax, just because they're hilarious. The scene where they're in the ship and Mantis is reading their emotions, and Drax is just belly laughing about he dispelled, or she told your deepest darkest secret, you must be so embarrassed,
No.
do
That was
me,
great.
do me.
Right. Yeah.
I love him.
Ken's?
It's hard. There are a lot of really good scenes in this. I really love the part with the ship, the chase scene, and you see that all of the ships that are chasing them are just like, it's like they're playing a video game.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
that's so cool because that's something you don't really think about that could be used in fighting like that.
Mm-hmm.
But most of Mantis's scenes, so I think she's just such an interesting character, and she's just such an airhead. I love it.
Yeah.
Angela?
Oh boy. Well, probably mostly what everybody else said.
The opening scene.
Yeah, the opening scene.
Him dancing around is just so cute.
It is
He
cute.
is cute.
Yeah.
Jeff, you're up. You can unmute yourself now.
Yeah, the opening scene was really good, but I like the interaction between Nebula and Gamora. How you finally understand why Nebula and Gamora hate each other so much, and
Yeah.
I also liked the introduction of Adam Warlock at the end. So that's a nice little twist on the
Yep.
twist in the story as
Yes,
well.
that's-
So, but I really like that interaction between
Your favorite
Gamora-
scene?
Yeah, I like that fight scene between when Nebula's chasing down Gamora in the spaceship when they find all the bones and stuff.
Mhm.
And,
Oh, yeah,
Gamora ends up pulling Nebula out of the spaceship, and then she attacks her again. She's like, "Really?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?" Yeah. So I like that interaction between those two.
All right. So my favorite scene, it's tough to pick this one out because the beginning scene and the interaction there, that's awesome. It's so tough because
Notice how
It's-
none of our favorite scenes involved the dad.
Well, I mean,
Because he's
you know,
not. I don't like his character. I just
Yeah.
don't like.
no, his characters. I guess you're not supposed to like him. I could tell you what my favorite line is, but that's not what we're going for. I would have to say that when Baby Groot is trying to figure out what button, and
Yeah.
Yes.
and then Rocket says, "Hey Quill, does anybody have any tape?" And seriously, they're in the middle of this battle with all of the what's the name of the group that hired them and then hired John Doe?
Sovereign.
The Sovereign. You got all the Sovereign. They're fighting the Sovereign. They're fighting Ego, and you can hear it in the background. Quill calling people on the radio, and then Rocket just standing there with Baby Groot saying, "Hey, do you have any tape?" And then when he
Yeah.
says, "Nobody's got tape," did you ask Nebula? Well, yeah,
I
I
did.
asked Nebula.
No, you really
No, I
did.
didn't hear you ask Nebula. Well, she's sitting right next to Yondu. But
I knew you didn't ask her.
I knew it, yeah. So, I mean, and what's good is, as far as pacing wise, you would think that wouldn't work in the movie because it actually slows that whole story down. You know, you've got this big battle scene, and then you have this, and 9 times out of 10, that would be cut out of the movie because it slows the pacing down so bad.
But it gives a tiny little break in there for you to
Right.
kind of like.
But
Yeah.
most movies don't have that. Especially most action movies or most movies like this, they don't have that because they don't want to have that dullness. I mean, you look at all this when we talk about what's been cut out of movies made from books. They cut out all the stuff that's on the side because it slows the pace down. Here, they just put that right in the movie and said, "This is funny, and we're going to keep it."
Yeah. I like the part too where he asked her what she was going to do with her portion of the money or whatever, and she just went into this long drawn out. And he's like, "I was just thinking like you're going to buy a purse or something like that." You know, it was funny.
There are a lot of like I love moments like that where it's like the character expects one thing and they get just a totally different answer. And they kind of gotta sit there and be like, "Yep, that's what I was expecting you to say." Totally.
Yeah. Ah,
I like the forest scene too, where they're fighting with Rocket. Where the Ravagers and Rocket.
And he's just going off.
and he's just using all these little gadgets. And
So
It's good.
funny.
And really anything with Yondu in it. I mean, Yondu is he's kind of the star of the show in this. I mean,
And he gets his comeuppance because, you
Yeah.
know, we find out, you get a more background on the Ravengers, which is nice because you don't
Yes.
think about that. You don't get that in that first movie. And now we know that, you know, there's Ravengers and Yondu and his crew are on the outs.
Yeah.
And then you'll find out why. And then you find out why. And then at the end, it makes that ending much more spectacular,
oh
especially when they
yeah,
come out
that was
with
amazing.
the lights and the fireworks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and two, I think for future movies, Stallone's character, it plays a major part in the Ravagers story.
Really?
Yeah, Stakar Ogard is his name. He's actually Starhawk in the comics.
Okay.
He's a major character. So
So
yeah, I
Mike's
was gonna say Rocky was there.
comment that is upside down and backward says, "Attention, please stay away from Stacy's coffee, or actions will have to take place. Thank you."
He's gotten used to that upside down way too
Yeah,
way too
I've
much
been getting.
lately.
I'm learning how to read it a lot faster now.
We can go with our favorite line, and I think everybody here, or you know what, before we get to our favorite line, which we all know, I think everybody will be in agreement on the favorite line. What's the one thing you didn't like about the movie, or a couple things you didn't like about the movie? And this time we're going to start with Ken's.
It's hard because it is a really good movie. Obviously, like I'm not trying to bash it. I don't know. It's just not it's not a super memorable movie for me. You know, like it's not one that sticks out in my mind. It's a gorgeous movie. It was beautifully made. The colors, all that kind of stuff, like everything about it is amazing. It's just not one that, you know, I look at and I say that I like, I'm gonna have to watch that movie. Like, it's just not one of those for me. Then that's just me personally. I'm not saying that about the quality of the movie, because it is an amazing movie, like I said. It's just, I mean, maybe the stuff with Yondu at the end made me sad, but
Right.
Yeah.
Jeff,
What was the question again?
what
No,
what
I'm
didn't
just
you
joking.
like about the movie?
So when Quill and Ego were fighting at the end, and I thought the fight was good until Quill turned himself into a Pac-Man and Ego turned himself in like a super Ego. I mean, that part just
yeah, that was a little.
that was a little over the top.
It was a little corny, and he had mentioned about Pac-Man earlier in the movie, so
I know.
it's not a surprise that he did it.
And I'm going to give you my favorite line too because my phone's on 20%, and I don't know how long
Okay.
it's going to last. So
Favorite line.
Right after they, right
You can't even say it.
when they crash in the forest, and he calls Rocket a trash panda, and he goes, and they like, is that bad? And he goes, and they're all just like going around, and Quill goes, yeah, it's so much worse.
Yeah, is that better than a
Is
better than
that
a
better?
raccoon?
Raccoon? He
What-
goes, no, it's so much
What
worse.
he calls him?
And
He
then
calls him a trash rabbit or
Trash Panda.
Trash
Trash
panda.
Panda.
trash panda. That's
What
it.
is,
Yes.
That's what Jeff's name is.
Oh, I see. Trash panda.
So,
Welcome in, Amy.
yeah, I thought-
He's still laughing.
but I'm sorry, my phone's gonna die.
That's okay.
It's good seeing you all. I'm just gonna go charge my phone somewhere and
If you make it
you-
back, you make it back.
You
carry
need to
on without
find Walt and Melissa. They're looking for you.
me.
Yep.
Are they? Where are
Yeah,
they?
do you have their number? I'll text you.
Hey,
So
text them my number.
okay, we'll do.
Okay. See you guys.
See you,
All right.
Jeff.
See you later, Jeff. So, where were we?
4.
What we didn't like, Angela. What didn't you like?
The fight.
I thought some of the fight scenes were a little
Yep.
dragged out.
I knew it. Yep, I knew it.
Like, when is this going to be over? How much longer are they going to be? Like him and his dad fighting, I was like, oh my gosh, when is this going to end? Like, how much longer do we have?
Why
in this?
do we even ask Andrew that question? We all know.
We all know it's going to be the fight.
I
scene.
mean, it's like I get it, and that's the action part of it, and that's why people love the movies, and that's probably why I haven't watched them up until this point, and that's why I do enjoy this movie more because there is some of that character development, and you're getting to see some behind the scenes, like, But whatever. My least favorite parts were the
fight
long fight scenes. It's just like, oh my gosh.
But at least this time around, they had that little Scotch tape incident.
yeah,
Yeah,
it broke it up a little bit. It wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Most of them were humorous. Most of the fight scenes were also
Yes, and that definitely made it
Yeah.
bearable.
because
Yes.
when they get into trouble, that's when they get funny.
Yes.
They're all nervous laughter and
Everyone's coping mechanism for fear is just to make jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Noah.
Welcome in,
Hey,
Noah. So my least, the least favorite part, most of it is with Ego. The explanation. What I don't like is, their hero Ego. I mean, his purpose is to be everywhere. So he pretty much would. It's a weird purpose of what he's trying to do. He's trying to implant himself and take over all the Earth, take over all the planets, and the only thing that left in the whole universe would be him. It just seems like a weird
Goal.
goal.
which again is completely different from his story in the comics. So I mean, it's just weird. So
And here's the other thing that's really weird. Nowhere, and not the place nowhere, but nowhere in the future of the movies or the canon here do they explain to why they're on Earth in this certain area. They had this big blob take over this whole town because
Yeah.
ultimately that's what it does. And you'll never hear about it again. It doesn't come. You don't hear Shield talking about it. You don't hear anything, and it just goes.
I
Yeah.
think that there is a short thing that they did with the Shield stuff. It's online through Marvel that they do a short thing. I think that Coulson might go and try and figure out what's going on, but again, there's nothing in the films that says anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost completely glossed over.
And that's one of the reasons that it's like for me, like something that's not super memorable for me because it is never brought up again.
Yeah.
So let's go with your favorite line. Who did we start with last time? No, we'll start with Russ.
Well, it's in my name, and it's I'm Mary Poppins.
I'm
y'all.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Again, I mean, I love Yondu in this movie. I mean, I jokingly call this a family movie because it is about, you know, the father and son and them coming together as a family. You've got the two sisters that are, you know, fighting and then come back together. And I just think that scene, that whole scene is them finally realizing that, hey, Yondu is really Quill's dad. He's, you know, he's there. He's fighting with him, alongside with him. And that little joke, it's, you know, Quill's still making fun of him, but he doesn't care. You know, he just thinks it's the greatest thing. And
Well, he also doesn't have that. He doesn't have the knowledge of what Mary Poppins
Right, he
is.
doesn't
Because
know.
here he is like, you look like Mary Poppins. Is Mary
Is he-
Poppins cool?
Is he cool?
Yeah, he's cool. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's great. You know, I think it's hilarious, and it does. It shows, you know, it shows Quill loves him, and it shows, but it also he's, you know, that's their relationship. They poke jabs at each other all the time. So
I mean, yeah, Yondu was more of a dad to him than anybody else.
Yeah.
and I do like the line too later on that, you know, I think it was even before that where, you know, Yondu said, or it was when they're going into space when he sacrifices himself that,
Right.
you know, Yondu says that, you know, he may have been your father, but I'm your daddy.
That's right.
And, you know, and that just kind of, you know, gets you right in the heart. So
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
And that makes everything even more emotional when it comes
Yeah.
to Yondu.
Did you
Yeah.
cry, Kenzie?
I don't think I cried. I was sad though.
Okay. Abby was crying. I looked over at her. She's crying. I'm like, oh.
Ken's your
Even though Yondu did want to kill him a few times.
But Yondu really never did want to kill him because if Yondu really wanted to kill him, he would have handed him over to Ego when he was abducted.
Mhm.
Not just and like when you're sitting there in the movie and you hear him say, you know, if I wasn't, I think Peter says to Yondu, if I wasn't so small, you would have handed me over to that guy. And he said, do you really think that's why I didn't hand you over? And it comes out that he knew once he found out what Ego was doing with these kids.
Yeah.
That's what pretty much stopped him from bringing Peter Quill in. Yeah, obviously he was small and could get into places, which always helped. But yeah. Ken's your favorite line?
Same.
The same?
Yeah.
Angela?
I liked I Am Groot.
Well, there was a lot of
I liked,
those.
you know what I liked about, I liked at the end when Quill could understand what he was saying. That was pretty cool.
yeah.
Like he'd been around him so much and he was a
teenage
teenager.
Oh,
He's like, pick up your stuff.
I think it's so cool when because I know in the script they actually write out what Groot's saying. So you actually do, like, Rocket knows what he's saying because there actually is something that is being said. That they did the same thing in Star Wars with Chewbacca and Han Solo.
Yeah.
They added it, didn't they? They added in
Yes.
Chewbacca noises afterwards. They would actually have Chewbacca, the actor who played Chewbacca, he would say the lines. So it would make the conversation between him and Han way more.
Well, the thing is Vin Diesel is actually given a script that actually says what Groot's line is, and he is to take that line and bring the emotion into those words. I am Groot.
And I think he does an amazing job of doing it
He
because
does.
it gets to a point where you kind of understand what Groot's saying too. Like you can kind of figure it out for yourself.
Welcome back, Tuna, Butterball, Timu, Pew Pew, Board Game Cheater. That's just her true nickname. I think one of my favorite lines, and I will say, is other than I'm Mary Poppins, y'all, is I am Groot, and it's when Yondu looks at Rocket and says, "What did he say?" And he said, "Welcome to the freaking Guardians, the freaking
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy," but not in those. And he didn't say freaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
And he
as
says,
we're, and
we need
as
to
he's
talk to you
flying
about
up,
your language.
we need to have a talk.
That was
I just love
classic.
all the interactions with Groot.
Yes.
That
I
baby
feel
Groot.
like the baby of the group now. He's like the child that they have to rein in.
But he's the baby, but does he still have the mentality of before?
No, see, here's the
Oh,
thing.
he doesn't. Okay. I didn't know
Groot, the first Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy, is technically dead.
that. Oh,
What we have now is Groot's offspring.
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
So you
So he
don't,
doesn't remember all those guys
No.
and stuff. Oh.
He's getting all new experiences. I kind of liked where even in the beginning scene, the beginning fight scene, because in the last movie, at that tail end when you had the twiggling and he's dancing, and every
Yes.
time Drax looked at him, he froze. In the beginning fight scene, when Drax falls next to him, he just stands there and he's solid. And every time like Groot's looking at Drax is looking at him, he stays there. And when he's not, he starts moving again. It just ties back to that first movie, which I thought was cool.
Which do you want to know why?
Why?
He's
So
scared.
no, so Drax actually explains it later on in the movie because he's talking about when he met his wife, and his wife
The dancing.
was the only one that would not dance.
Ah,
And so Groot does not want to dance because he wants Drax to like him.
oh,
He doesn't, he doesn't want he doesn't want Drax to be mad.
Isaac.
Oh my
So-
gosh. That's funny. I didn't even notice that.
I think the family dynamic in the group is awesome. I think I love that kind of stuff with the teams. Any of the teams that they do.
did we welcome in Isaac Neil? Welcome in.
I just welcomed him.
He just said that.
Was coughing. And
Yeah, you were.
I'm
But
gonna blame your mom. She distracted me. She distracts me all day long.
you know,
She wants me to do housework, yard work, all this other stuff.
I
I got streams.
She's just a slave driver, Tracy. I know.
I know.
I enjoy baby Groot's interaction with everyone, and I love like I was saying, I love the family dynamic between all of them because they've been around each other for so long. They kind of get used to what each other are like.
Mhm.
Right.
So, there's the part like they know they can trust each other. They know what they're gonna do. They know how to do that kind of stuff. And there's the part where they're in the ship battle, and Groot goes flying. Peter catches him and immediately just throws him to Drax.
Oh
And
yeah.
Catches him because he knows he's gonna be there to catch him. Like I love that.
Well, and
Yeah.
then at the end too, Groot's sleepy, and he goes from person to person to person, and then
he
ends
falls
at
asleep on
Drax.
Drax.
Yeah. That was
and
cute.
so you see that Drax is he is a mighty warrior, but he's also got a soft side in this movie.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot more about his family that he lost, and
Yes. That's
so-
what I liked. I liked that part.
And I think it's cool because it's not just him having a close relationship with Rocket. You also see a dynamic
Yes.
between him and Drax. You see a dynamic between him and Gamora, and with him and Quill. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
So Stacy in the chat says she has a fun fact about Taserface.
Tell
So-
us.
Go ahead, Stacy, when you get a chance.
Yeah, I love Groot stuff, and I think we talked about it when we did the first movie. But the reason Groot talks the way he does is because they're actually so sophisticated. They are saying these things, but it just doesn't comprehend in the person's mind. So all they hear is "I'm Groot."
So, I mean, when we look at the scenes, and especially with the Ravishers, and we had the mutiny, and what's the Guns Brothers character's name?
I do not know.
I don't
Kraglin.
know.
Kraglin.
Right. Kraglin, he finally decides to go back and help out his boss because he said he killed all his friends.
Oh yeah.
So when you look at it, at the end of the movie, the only Ravisher Ravager from Yondu's fleet
Dad,
is him and him
Dad.
only, because they kill everybody else. Go ahead,
read
guys.
Casey's comment.
Anybody that watches the hit show This Is Us, the actor who plays Toby Chris Sullivan is Taserface.
Yeah.
Really?
Toby.
Yeah.
Toby is
I love
Taserface.
that show.
You need to watch the behind the scenes as well, because they have a lot of his little outtakes and things, because he's got the scary makeup and things, but he's so funny. Even off camera, he's just hilarious. So
Yeah,
That's
the
funny.
Taserface. Yeah, and the Taserface, I think Taserface was in the comics too, right? Not sure.
Taserface is a character in the comics in the Ravagers series, but he's not. He's just kind of a dumb
He's
character.
a throwaway. Well, he's a dumb character here too, but still.
They do use him. They do use the mutiny part in the storyline somewhat within the Ravager storyline, and so they did take some of that away. But again, he's basically what he is in the movie. He's the dumb Ravager who thinks he's more powerful than he is. So he's actually he's a cyborg in the comics.
Okay. So I just got a text message from my sister, and my sister text messaged me and says, "What is my mother? What is mom making me watch?" Hi, Cindy. Hi, Grandma. You're watching me be a total nerd and show my true nerd self. That's what you're seeing. These are my fellow nerds, Angela and Russ. There's many more of us, but this is
You
our
might
nerd
know
talk.
me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You might know this one down here, but
And
Yeah.
whoever else is also watching with you. I don't know if any of the kids are there.
so
Keith, you are correct. Miley Cyrus did voice a character. I don't think she was a Ravager. I think she was actually one of the.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I'm thinking she was one of the girls on the planet where Stallone is. The
IMDb.
robot girls.
Yeah, I think so, but I may be mistaken. And then also, oh shoot, what's his name? Dang it, the guy that played Lex Luthor in the Superman, or in the Smallville.
Oh, I never watched Smallville, so
He's
well, I
one
might
of
be a
the,
nerd. I never.
he's
watched.
one of the he's one of the
Rob
sovereign.
Zombie was also in this.
Yeah, Rob Zombie was in it as a Ravager. So
Well,
it was at the end of the funeral. Okay, Keith, that's right. Okay.
I'm assuming that sooner or later they've set it up to where if they want to do a Ravagers,
That's what I'm saying.
Movie.
I think that is a possibility, because, like I say, they were originally talking to Stallone about him coming back. But I don't know now with everything that's happened and things that have changed whether or not that'll be a thing. But
Because I think everything for Disney is pushed out a year now.
yeah,
Star Wars, Avatar, probably the same thing. I mean, Black Widow got pushed out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think she should have been released this summer, right? Or was it?
yeah,
Okay.
they're having to rearrange all the release dates.
Oh, wow.
Well, not only that is also it's kind of tough to film when you have to have that social distance and you have to, so.
Well, and theaters aren't open, so that's the other thing.
So I mean, everything's kind of pushed out, which kind of it hurts. I mean, look, they pushed Mulan out on Disney Plus for $25 if you want to watch it now, or you could just wait for it to actually just come straight onto streaming.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how they're going to get people enticed to do it. I was on a stream where they were talking about this, and I think, or might even have been a podcast that I was listening to.
So I just read something on IMDb because I'm that person,
Are
and
you really?
it says in the Guardians of the Galaxy comics, Taserface is a warrior from cybernetically enhanced race known as the Stark. The Stark are an alien race that found Iron Man technology, and and because of that, they worship Tony Stark as their god.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he's an interesting character for sure. So
Tracy,
Sorry.
I could hear you cough through Kenzie's.
Did you really? Sorry.
My door's open.
It was funny because it was matching what was
Yeah.
coming through on the mic.
Welcome back, Tina. Team Pew Pew.
How many times are you gonna leave, Tina?
Pew,
Yeah.
pew.
Keep moving and coming back.
Well, see, what she's doing is she's going into some video games, ready to mail you, and they're all set up so she can win because she's a cheater.
Oh, Tina.
Oh man. So are we gonna? We also can talk about the other like little side characters, maybe
Go for it. We got
Uh-huh.
in here. I mean,
we got
we've
about 20 more minutes.
Yes.
got quite a few like little. Of course, you got Howard the Duck was in there again.
Yes. Very short clip, but Howard the Duck
we
was
also
there.
end up in Endgame. Isn't that a thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it?
It's an Endgame, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, so
You
here's the thing. Angela, do you know who Howard the Duck is?
Well, I saw him in that one scene.
But do
But-
you know who he is? Do you remember Howard the Duck movie back in the day?
No, I don't.
It was a horrible.
She wouldn't have watched that movie, Tracy. No way.
No, it was not a good movie.
It's terrible.
It's, it's bad. But they have Howard the Duck, and I don't think you're ever going to see a Howard the Duck movie,
Oh no. I
but
don't think so.
it's great to see that come in here and there.
Okay.
So you had Howard. You had you saw. Well, you see Cosmo in the credits.
In the credits,
Cosmo the Wonder Dog. He was a major part of the comic book Guardians of the Galaxies or team of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
you might have to explain who Cosmos is.
So Cosmo is a dog. He's a Russian dog, cosmonaut. But he has somewhat like telepathic powers that he's got. That he's
Okay.
gained. I don't remember exactly his full backstory, but yeah, he's a major part, and he's able to speak through like he can understand English and talk in the comics, and so he's kind of a brain
In
of
the movie.
What's that?
Why wasn't he prominent in the movie? I'm disappointed.
Well, because I think just because it would have been hard for them
no,
to have both him and Rocket.
yeah.
They've already got so many other
That's
CG
so
characters.
cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why they kind of cut him out. You see, let's see who else. Jeff mentioned at the end of the credits. So the Sovereign are actually a rewrite of the Enclave in the comics, and the Enclave are they have kind of like a bee like society or whatever, where you have the drones that are the workers, but then you have the queen who is in charge. And Aisha, who is the girl in the movie, is actually the leader of the Enclave in the comics, to where they recreate themselves or whatever to make themselves better. And so at the end you get Adam Warlock, which actually they don't actually say his name's Warlock, but in the
Right,
comics,
they just say Adam.
yeah, they just call him Adam. In the
Okay.
comics, Adam Warlock is a huge part of the comics, especially in the Infinity Stone storyline, because he is actually the wielder of the Soul Stone in the comics.
Mm.
Right.
And I'm not going to spoil anything because that is changed in the movies. But yeah, he's a major hero in the Marvel universe. So that's kind of a neat nod there. And then, like I say, you have Starhawk, who is Stallone's character, who is also a major part of the Guardians storyline and the Ravagers storyline. So.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, there's several others that, little tiny little snippets and things that you see. But yeah,
Mhm.
I thought it was funny too that they used the Dairy Queen product placement.
Yeah.
Yes. And what did she call Rocket your grumpy puppy or something? I love that
Yeah.
grumpy. I love your grumpy
Love your
puppy.
puppy. Can I pet him?
I love your grumpy. Well, then she said then she called him the grumpy puppy, like at the
Yeah,
end.
something
She
like
called
that,
him
yeah.
something. It was funny.
I just love Mantis.
Well, I was just going to say, Mantis is nothing like that in the comics. She's actually a martial artist in the comics.
Oh, really?
She's Asian, and she is a martial artist, and she wields like swords and things. She does later on in the comics. She does get like empathic powers, and she does have like the antenna things, but they're not necessarily like she's not an alien. That's the weird thing. She's actually human in the comics.
Huh.
And so they totally changed her character. And in fact, the creator of the character was really mad about it.
Really?
Because he's like, this is not Mantis. Why are you using Mantis? You know, why are you calling her Mantis? Because that's not who she is. They just made her look like her and gave her the antennas. And then she's got different powers. And yeah, she's now, I mean, she may gain that ability to fight and things later on if they use her in, I'm sure she'll be in the next movie. But we'll see.
So Stacy said a fun fact about the Ravagers that came back for Yondu's funeral. Martinix, Charlie 27, Starkada Argard, and I can't.
Bogard.
Whatever. Our
Our
original
original
members of the
Ravagers.
Guardians of the Galaxy, along with Yandu.
Yeah,
And-
in fact, I was just gonna say the whole team is totally different in the comics. So yeah.
Correct. I mean, and how they came together, and that's what's good thing about most of the movies that they can do is, and they're calling this they're calling this universe or Earth 616. So it's pretty much saying all of everybody in 616. This is so things like I'm assuming that when we get to the Disney Plus movie show for Loki, it's going to be in a different or a parallel universe. So
Yeah,
you won't have any interaction with what we currently see.
Well, of course, they also introduced the dimensional side of things in this movie because that's where the big monster comes from at the beginning. It's from a different dimension, which is Doctor Strange.
And you know what? And here's the thing:
Ah.
if Rabbit didn't actually steal the batteries in the beginning of the movie, they
Rabbit?
wouldn't have had the batteries at
Rocket.
the end to. Well, who did I say?
You said rabbit.
Whatever.
Bugs Bunny, Rabbit.
You call him a rabbit at one point, but whatever.
We know what you meant. Go ahead.
If Rocket didn't steal the batteries in the beginning, they wouldn't have had the batteries to blow up Ego at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make
Oh,
sense?
that's a good point. Wasn't even thinking of that.
Yep.
So we're about 10 minutes out. I mean,
We can just do
It's-
overall opinions of the movie if we
yeah,
want.
overall opinions.
I was going to mention the David Hasselhoff part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
That's
funny.
hilarious. And I like the joke about the Zune.
Yeah, the Zune. This is what everybody's listening to, which nobody's listening to Zoom right now.
And there's an extended scene as well that you guys need to watch because it's hilarious. So.
I might go and watch that when we're done. So overall feeling, Ange, what do you say?
I liked it. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of focus on a lot of fighting. So, and the character development and the humor, I like that. So,
Russ, overall?
No, like I say, I enjoy it. I mean, I think it's a good movie. Again, I don't like the Ego part at all. I wish they had gone with the Jason storyline instead. But you still get the idea now that Quill is immortal.
Well, not anymore.
Well, he doesn't have the powers, but I think he still is immortal. I think he still has because
I think when it was when Ego was explaining to him, he says, as long as you're connected to the light of the center of of that planet, and when they blow that planet up, don't they take the light out of the planet?
I think so, but I think too he still has that
DNA.
DNA or that power within him.
He's technically half celestial.
Exactly, and I think that's where they're going to use it later on, to where he still is able to, because that's where he gets his power. I mean, he's not necessarily, he doesn't have superpowers, but
Right.
he's pretty much invulnerable to a lot of things. So if he can wield an Infinity Stone, then
And actually, to tell you the truth, they didn't actually have to put a spacesuit on him because I think he probably would have been able to handle being out in the space a lot longer than a human would be. But
Well, they do that in the first movie where he goes out and saves Gamora, where he
Right.
takes his helmet off, and he still survives. And so that that I think that again that's kind of going back to your where the characters don't always have the same abilities within the movies,
right,
and
the
they
changes between movies, yeah.
So, but again, that happens in the comics as well. So I mean, it's but yeah, I mean, I like I say, I enjoy this movie. I think it's a good movie on its own. I think it's a fun movie. It's hilarious. Doesn't have anything else to do with any of the rest of it other than just developing characters.
No, I mean, if you want to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you don't even have to watch the rest of the Marvel Universe to be involved. I mean, yeah, they're in the back, but like they're in the final Avengers. But yeah, I think it's a standalone. I think it would be tough to watch the next Guardians of the Galaxy without watching the movies that you got to come up through where they're involved in.
I mean, it definitely helps to watch it, but
Yeah.
I think Chris brought up too that he likes that when Drax is calling the batteries different names, the Antilax batteries or whatever they actually are.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're arbitrary batteries. No, they're not.
So Stacy said that Ray has a fun fact about Rocket. When we were watching Thursday's show, and when you mentioned the song Rocky Raccoon, that's where they got Rocket's name from. Rocky Raccoon.
Okay.
And the video game Star Fox
Yes.
is based on Rocket the Raccoon.
Oh, really?
That makes sense.
So Ken's your overall feeling of the movie?
I like it. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's necessary to watch it to know if you wanted to watch the basics, I don't think this movie is required.
Yeah.
I think the first movie would be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a good watch. Good music, obviously. I think the music in the first movie is better, personally. That's just me.
So did you know that when they were filming, they actually James Gunn had the music written first and had the soundtrack to play while they were filming the scenes so that the actors would know what the mood was supposed to be.
Okay. That's
which was kind of cool. They all had earbuds in.
And he's not the first director to ever do something like that. I think I was watching a recent documentary where they actually said there was a director who he played the song exactly, how he wants the film to be cut in the editing room. So he almost had the same song go. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like it. I think it's a good movie. I think I like the first one more, but that's just me.
So Tuna said she likes this one movie better than the first. So
Yeah, I think I do too.
Stacy agrees with Kenzie. The music from the first one is much better. So next week we have Spider-Man: Homecoming.
You didn't ask Ange?
Yes,
No, he did.
Okay.
I did. I started with Ange. So I liked it. I mean, it's not my top tier movie. It's
Mhm.
definitely not. It's again, this is no Iron Man 3 or Dark World. You know what I mean? It rides average in the middle of the pack. It's not the top ones, but it's definitely not the bottom ones. It's a good movie in the middle. It's got great sound. It's got great acting, great character development. And again, you don't need to watch this to get an idea of what's going on in the future. So,
Mhm.
Because half of it doesn't come up again.
and then Tina says nothing beats Ant-Man. I don't know.
Ant-Man's pretty good. I agree.
So next week we got Homecoming. Whose channel are we on? Is it Kenzie's?
It's supposed to be Kenzie's.
Okay. So she's got Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I know she's mad about it though. So here's my idea. I'll switch with you, Kenzie, if you want to switch. I'll do Homecoming next week if you want Ragnarok.
I would like Ragnarok. Thank you.
Okay.
All
So
right,
next
so-
week
very much-
it'll be on my channel for Spider-Man Homecoming.
Generosity.
All right, so So next week we are going to be on.
Russ's channel now.
Yes. Because I like Spider-Man.
Did you make little banners for everything?
So
He
Spider-Man
is now.
is next, and then after that is Ragnarok.
Yep.
Yes. It'll
Okay.
be
I
Thor
originally
Ragnarok.
had next week, and then Russ had Ragnarok, but we're switching because I am a baby and I want Ragnarok.
Okay.
Yes, I made banners for it. Why?
I think it's very nice that you did that. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Look what Tina says. I was about to put in a link, then I realized I
Oh.
can't. Uh-oh.
Nope.
Oh. That's
No, I'll
interesting.
set it up on my show, on my channel, and
No, I think she was mentioning something else, but
But-
it's fixed.
but now, Kenzie, you owe me for this. So.
I do, yeah. I will switch with whatever movie you want.
I'm teasing. I don't care.
That's funny.
Yeah, Tina was joking around.
Yeah.
No. So, let's see. Angela, what do you got coming up?
How did you just now make her a mod? Seriously.
What do you mean?
Tina.
Wait a second. Yeah, didn't she unmod me?
That's true. She did.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I
See?
Oh,
She
okay,
can play
that's
at this
fine.
game.
wow.
you guys are too much. And what do you got coming up?
Oh,
All right. So
We got 2 minutes.
tomorrow, I'm dropping a video, my last collaboration video for the Progressive Meal. I'm going to make Dole Whips. So, and that was interesting. They actually came out good. I almost broke the Vitamix, but that's beside the point. And then, Jeff's down at Disney, so I don't know if he'll be doing some stuff from down there.
So
So
he comes home Thursday.
he comes home Thursday, yeah. So Dreaming with a Mouse will probably be from the airport, but it'll be on Myers' channel. So
And Stacy, we don't talk about our football preferences outside of Thursday night, which I noticed that you weren't there too much this past week, so you must have been scared. Russ, what do you got coming up?
So next Saturday on my channel again will be we're going to continue our discussion on Imagineering and reimagining the parks.
Okay,
We had a lot of fun this last Saturday with
we did.
talking about Main Street USA and Tomorrowland. So we're just going to continue on around, and I think that'll be kind of a series to where we won't do it every weekend, but we'll do it, just continue it. And then, like we say, Sunday on 4:00 at my channel for Spider-Man: Homecoming. So
Sweet. Kens, what do you got coming up?
Tomorrow, 4:30 to 5:30. No idea what my topic is going to be, but it'll be something. So
Okay, and for me, what I got coming up is probably modding or making an appearance on Kenzie's stream. Depends on what she wants to do. Thursday from 4 to 5, which is my not wasting time, also known as the Dreaming with the Mouse prep hour. So, it's that ramping up day. Again, we want to thank the Live Place for hosting our stream on the Live Place.
real quick,
Go ahead.
I can't do my Monday stream next week because I've got something else that I'm doing. So I don't know who's going to take over that hour for me, but I will ask somebody to do that. Just know
Okay.
I'll be live tomorrow. I won't be live next Monday on my channel.
okay.
So, okay. Thank you for the Live Place. I've already mentioned that. Thank you, the rest of our Nerd Talk group here. There's our dream. Jeff, I hope you enjoy Epcot. I think Walt from Mouse Talk is still streaming, if I'm not mistaken. If someone wants to drop in
That link.
that link.
and I believe that Donna is cooking on her channel. So
Oh, is she cooking right now?
Yeah, I think Walt might be
I know.
done, but I'm not sure.
So, and then we have tonight on Pete McDevitt's channel, we have Myers and the Mouse on the hot seat. Make sure you check out Myers and the Mouse on the hot seat. I think that will be an interesting, no holds barred question and answer. The over and under is 5 questions to put Kelly on the couch, and under 5 questions to let him sleep in his own bed. So thank you guys for all joining us. We have about 10 people here. Please make sure you pop the like button. And if you just stumbled across us, we're a bunch of nerds. Check out all of our channels if you want. Like, subscribe, and
Yeah.
we do Disney, but not just Disney. We're a bunch of different
People.
ideas and
We're people.
things to do. So again, thank you, and thank you for giving us your Sunday.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
everyone.
Bye. Dance now.